Hello and welcome to WION World is One. I'm Kanishka, Sarkar. Now, as the Iran conflict continues to escalate with no clear timeline for the end to the war, many Indians in West Asia are facing a tough choice. Stay back or return home. Those who have already returned, they also may be a little bit anxious. Because beyond safety and jobs, there's also another concern: taxes. A longer stay in India, even if unplanned, can change an NRI's tax status, impacting how much tax they pay even on global income. So what should NRIs watch out for? How many days in India are too many? And what are the risks if plans suddenly change? To break this down, today we are joined by Mukesh Butani, tax expert and managing partner at BMR Legal. Hi, Mr. Butani, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, for NRIs who are returning due to the Iran conflict, what is the biggest tax risk they should be aware of? What are your thoughts on that?
India's domestic law has clearly laid down stay days conditions, as a result of which you are either a resident or a non-resident, and there is also another category called not ordinarily resident.
Right.
The taxability of your foreign sourced income is determined accordingly. So, for example, a non-resident is not taxed on foreign sourced income, and a resident is taxed on the worldwide income. So, if as a result of this geopolitical developments, NRIs who exceed their stay in India and bust the limit that has been laid down in the domestic law, will
Right.
accordingly be impacted on their income taxability in India.
Understood. And how strictly is this days in India rule applied, and does even a shorter stay count as a full day?
Well, the litmus test for stay days is a stamp on your passport, or if you have a passport, when did you enter the country? So if you're entering after 12 midnight, that's considered a fresh day.
Okay.
If you're entering before 12 midnight, then it's 2 days, even though you're entering. Similarly, same rules apply for exit as well. So your number of days are determined accordingly.
Got it. And what happens if someone crosses that 120 or 182-day threshold unintentionally?
The law doesn't prescribe for any intention or unintention.
Yeah.
So the moment you cross over the threshold, you are accordingly taxed. For example, if you're an NRI and you have foreign sourced income and you happen to become a resident in India as a result of the stay days,
Right.
even though it was never intention to, you will be liable to tax. Now, having said that, there are countries that have allowed special dispensation in their domestic. So that's one way to get over. That's for the Indian policymakers to reflect whether they want to provide for such dispensation or not. But it is well within the framework of the law
Right.
to carve out a special provision for those people who are overstaying. The second situation is a treaty situation where India and UAE can get into a understanding of out within the treaty framework to provide for such carve-outs.
Okay.
A similar situation occurred in COVID times. OECD issued guidance to countries to have such carve-outs because people got held back because of COVID restrictions.
Correct.
That can be done, but that's only subject to the changes in the treaty or the domestic law.
Right. And how does this RNOR or resident not ordinarily resident status that you were talking about, how does this help and where does it fall short?
Well, the difference between non-resident and resident and not ordinarily resident is a foreign sourced income.
Correct.
So if you continue to be a non-resident, your foreign sourced income is not taxed. But if you're a resident and ordinarily resident, then your foreign sourced income will be taxed. But if you're a resident, then it doesn't matter whether it's a foreign sourced income or Indian income, both are taxed because you pay tax on your global income.
Got it. Got it. And now, what about some practical steps that you think NRIs could take, to avoid any kind of unexpected tax liability?
Well, the simple thing is that they don't have to go back to Dubai to break the test on the threshold prescribed a number of days. They can travel elsewhere as well. But staying in India will certainly expose them to the resident rules in India, which are subjected to the stay days in India.
Correct.
So they may decide not to go to Dubai. They may just decide to go out of the country to break that or to not break the threshold of the number of days stay.
Understood. And, you were just talking about those treaties. What are the kind of conversations you are having within the industry? Is any relaxation expected from the government given the uncertainty due to the war?
I have not heard anything. I think it will all depend on the, willingness of the lawmakers to make an exception of this nature. I know for a fact that this was up for consideration during COVID times. India did not make any exceptions. So people who got held back in India as a result of COVID crisis and, experienced that they are, kind of busting the state aid in India, they would have been taxed accordingly. So there was no such dispensation.
All right, understood. Thank you, Mr. Butani, for joining us today and helping us with that perspective. On that note, we'll let you go.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
All right, so clearly, in times of global uncertainty, tax planning becomes just as important as travel planning. And for NRIs, a few extra days in India could mean a big change in tax liability. So staying informed and prepared is the key. Thank you for joining us today.